What's shaking, Court Crew? Shout out to the Court Nation. It's Court Millions. Like and subscribe. Gonna have a lot of knowledgeable content coming. Sit back, kick your feet up, and enjoy the video. Kind regards.
Y'all, Trump said after 32 hours on the work week, everything else is considered overtime. Man, can y'all believe that? Can y'all believe that after 32 hours, you automatically gonna get an extra 8 hours of work that's gonna be considered time and a half? That's going to be considered time and a half. So that means if you one of them lazy people, you sitting around, you really don't like to work, oh, they don't pay me enough money. Well, look at this. Let's just say you make $10 an hour, right, y'all? You get an extra 8 hours automatically. Not even, just imagine the people that work 6 days a week, 7 days a week. Imagine the people who want to work an extra couple of hours a day. Just imagine that, y'all. So anything after 32 hours is considered overtime. Man, people winning automatically, y'all. Trump is the GOAT, y'all. Trump is the GOAT. Y'all got to give it up one time for Trump, man. All my real, true Trump supporters, man. Make sure y'all click that link in my bio. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn the notifications on. Make sure y'all follow me on TikTok. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, man. Mad love and respect. Without y'all, it wouldn't be no king, man.
So Trump said that anything over 32 hours at your job is now considered overtime. So at first you had to work 40 hours, and then anything over 40 hours was considered overtime, extra time and a half pay. Now it's 32. So if you already work 40 hours, you're guaranteed 8 hours of overtime. Now that should help out with all the people who said, jobs this, they don't pay enough, this and that. This is great for that. So now, if nothing else makes you want to get up and go get a job, how about 8 hours of overtime off the top? Y'all should be able to make y'all's rent now and get food, and hell, maybe even go out on Friday night, get a little date going. Who knows? Budgets might look all types of different now. I don't know. We're gonna see, I guess. But I say at this point, I'm liking what he's saying. I'm picking up what he's putting down. What about y'all? Tell me in the comments.
So Trump just said we're going to have a 32-hour work week now. No longer 40. 32 is going to be the standard. No, you're not going to just work 32 hours. You're still going to work your 40. What that means is you're going to get overtime from 32 to 40. For salary people, don't mean shit. For union people, if your contract says overtime after 40 hours, don't mean shit. But Trump said he was going to do this before he pushed no taxes on overtime. So what this is going to ensure is people that work 40 hours a week, hourly, your last 8 hours are going to be overtime hours, because that's just standard. Then once this gets passed, he's going to put the bill in for no taxes on overtime, which is going to be good for all of us. Going to make a shit ton more money. Just to follow up for everybody that said, oh, Trump's full of shit. He might be full of shit about a lot of stuff, but he said we were only going to have a 32-hour work week. That's what we got. He said he was going to do no taxes on overtime after we got this passed. That's what we're doing. The man hasn't even been in 6 months yet.
All right, stuck in traffic. Let's talk about no tax on overtime. So I read the bill while in traffic and called my accountant to just sort of make sure I knew I was reading it right. And it is. It's just an easy read. It's so easy that I had to call my accountant because it was just like, wait a minute, this can't be that easy, right? Yeah, it is that easy. You can find the bill yourself. It's 1 page long. They even have a truncated version, which is a paragraph long. But anyway, here's the gist of it. It's based on your annual tax filing. And the reason why that is because there's a lot of reasons. Let me try to break it down for you, okay? It says that you can deduct up to 20% of your regular wages, right, from one employer. Now, I heard somebody predominantly here on TikTok that said, oh, this is not good for you oil rig workers because you work 14 hours a day, and I know how it is. Yeah. What he didn't mention to everybody else who's not an oil rig worker is you might be working 14, 20 hours a day, 5, 6, 7 days a week, but you're not allowed to do that for a long period of time because it's against the law. They have what's called 7 on, 7 off. 7 weeks on, 7 weeks off. Bottom line is that that oil rig worker that might pull in 100 hours a week and thinking they can only get 20% of that deducted, no. It's on an annual basis. So when you add it all up, you find out that that truck driver, the oil rig worker, those people doing those intense jobs, the cop, the nurse, surgeons, on an annual basis, you're working the same amount of days as the average American worker. And according to the statistics of labor, the average overtime per worker is about 6 hours to 8 hours on the top end a week, which is 20%. Now, why is it capped at 20%? Are there people that work over that? Probably, but not a lot. Furthermore, it's done, in my opinion, it's because they don't want to incentivize this type of, Chinese-style labor mentality where you're overworking yourself. It doesn't work that way. So the government can't incentivize you to do that type of job because, after all, it's also against their law that they created on work hours. There are some measurements. There are some parameters. Single file, making $100,000 a year, you don't qualify unless you got a kid. Because remember, this is based on not gross income. This is based on net taxable income. So you're making $100,000, you got a kid, you still qualify. The next tier is $200,000. If you make $200,000 or more, you don't qualify. Again, unless you have kids. Because let's face it, if you're a newly married couple making $200,000 a year, I don't care where you're living, you're doing good. However, you throw a kid in the mix, gets things, right? Yeah. So you throw a kid in the mix, you're under that $200,000 threshold. You then can deduct up to 20% of your regular wages in a form of a tax credit. Now, the naysayers on the left will find every reason why this bill sucks. What about that? Look, that type of mentality reminds me of that kid that got literally everything they wanted and more during Christmas.
That's a wrap until next time. Keep rising, keep shining. Every ending is a new beginning. I gave y'all that fire, now go light up the world. Stay up, stay up, stay up.